So we've all been there, right? You're at a committee meeting, maybe you're in your, collegiate FFA club or whatever club you belong to. Maybe you're at work and in front of a group of people, and they turn to you and they say, hey, Johnny, we're going to call you Johnny, just go with it. They say, Johnny knows a lot about X. Johnny, tell us about X. And so maybe it's about an event that's coming up. Maybe we just need to know more about like no-till farming, like right off the bat there. Maybe we need to know about how the conference was that you went to. And so all of a sudden, there you are. You're giving a surprise speech. It's a surprise to you. It's a surprise to them. How does it come out? And you maybe find yourself babbling. You're just like, working through, like can't find the right words. And did you repeat that? Did you say that already? And so all of this can be avoided with a little 3-step procedure that we're going to tell you about today in our talk on impromptu surprise speeches. But first, I want to show you what this looks like when it goes horribly wrong. And to do that, we have Miss Teen USA 2007, who's probably like almost 30 now. This one's going to go down in history as one of like the best impromptu presentations ever. Let's have a listen.
Okay. Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
All right, South Carolina, first in secession. Anyhow, so there's probably a lot going on there in that speech. She's probably really nervous, obviously, which feeds into, the tripping over the words and whatnot. But sometimes just having a little bit of a structure to your presentation will set your mind at ease so that you can get the information out easier. The little bit of structure also helps your audience follow along with your talk so that they get what you're going over. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, what are impromptu presentations? I mean, if you're unclear on this, they're not like formal talks that were planned out. They were sort of prompted by the occasion. So what's going to happen in your lab, for example, is usually an informational presentation will go that week. And like if an informational presentation goes and it has like a topic in there that relates to one of the things that you're going to tell your TA about that you'd like to speak on, which we'll go over in a minute. If the topic in the informational, prompts an impromptu presentation, the TA will then turn to, maybe it's you and say, hey, actually, we so-and-so in their informational mentioned this, and we would like to hear a little bit more about it, and that's why we're going to call up Johnny. So that's how that's going to work. They're generally spoken, performed, or done, or composed. Those are all words that mean the same thing. With little or no preparation. Mainly extemporaneous, right? They're not going to ask you to talk about something that you don't know about. And if you don't know about it, you can just say, hey, I don't know about that. Usually people call on you because they want you to share your expertise. And so you don't get a good amount of time to prepare for it, like Miss South Carolina. Anyway, I had this kid one time in class who made note cards for what he thought was going to be his impromptu presentation, and he made like 9 sets of them. And I was like, come on, is this a thing that you're going to do in life? Just walk around with speeches in your back pocket in case somebody asks you to talk about something? Like, no, this is not real. So why might somebody call on you to make a impromptu presentation? Like we already kind of said, they maybe recognize you as the expert or somebody that's gone through the thing before, and they just want you to tell a little bit about it. Usually 2 to 3 minute speeches. You don't want to go on too long. So one of the things that I want to point out to you is that you need to be a little bit gentle with yourself in giving the impromptu. They tend to be the thing that stresses people out the most. In this class, they're generally over really quick, so that's like a good thing. But they do tend to stress people out. And so you got to realize that the more you talk about a given subject, the better you'll get at it. And so like Mark Twain here says, good Missourian, it usually takes me more than 3 weeks to prepare a good impromptu speech. And of course, he's being funny because he's always being funny. But, the idea here is that you'll get better with time. So be a little bit gentle with yourself. Now, when I say that, obviously we're still going to grade you. And when I say your talk is impromptu and that it's extemporaneous, it doesn't mean that you can't prepare for it in some ways. And we'll come back to that in a moment. In our next video, what we're going to actually show you is 3 steps to help you organize your presentation in your head so that you feel more at ease whenever you're giving your presentation, and also so that the audience can follow along with you.